Yo, what is up, everybody? We are back. This is war number 12 of season 60. It's the grand finale of the season, and we are up against Universal Stars. This war, my team is Silk, Guardian, and Mojo, and I will be taking path 1 and then path 7. So my first fight here is node 1 thing, and I will take it with Silk. This fight's super simple. The plan is to just let him stack a bunch of his regens, and then just melt him by reversing them with Silk. The only thing here is I don't want to trigger protection on every hit, because then my heal reversal is going to get capped. That's why I, tried to type max boost after thing, but I typoed like 17 different times. It's totally fine. I'm just going to pop green and red boosts. No orange boost for this. Usually I don't pop a green boost, but since this is a rank 4 thing, not a rank 3, the orange boost, or the green boost is fine. So he's gotten 2 regens now. And the whole time in this fight I was just thinking, man, his regens, they're just falling off. I mean, here we're all good, right? I'm using my SP1s just so I can stay close to him, essentially, because I want the regens to stack up. So you can see here, he's almost dead. If I had used my relic there, I would have just killed him, but it's all good. And here, you can see he's already down to 3 regens, and I'm like, he's already down to 2, and I'm like, bro, I've been close to you this whole time. Like, I swear to God, if I was using a champ who didn't want to let him stack regens, like God forbid I was using someone who couldn't reverse regen, he'd already be at 12. He'd be at 12 regens. But of course, when we're using Silk, the game just hates us. All good. 57-second fight, 1 mini crash out. We're totally fine. Up next, we have Maestro on 10, which I'll be taking with Mojo. And this fight, again, pretty simple. Obviously, he has Masochism, and whenever he has a regen, he goes unblockable. But as I mentioned, that unblockable is tied to the regen buff, so Mojo, with his anti-life, is going to make that regen buff super short, so he's really not going to be unblockable that much. And yeah, this fight, not a whole lot to it. Just going to get him down slowly but surely. We got our anti-life up already, so you can see there. Get the first degen up here. I wanted to knock him down so that he doesn't get his glance buff while I don't have anti-life up, because obviously I want it to expire super quickly. Here I get charge of heavy, so knock him down again. I would like to keep getting him, above his little thresholds so he gains buffs, but it's totally fine. You can see he is getting like a couple ticks of regen every time, but it's not a big deal. I'm obviously doing insane damage, far more than what he's doing to me. So now we're finally at our 5 little thumbs up. I can't remember if it's the subscribers or the followers, but yeah, we get the Fury buff, so super cool. Doing big damage, and he's dead. And now we have, the fight I really brought Mojo for, and that's node 25 Dark Phoenix. This fight, it's, again, like, similar to, I guess, no, not really similar. The plan is to just hit her block mainly. All my heavy and SP2 hits are projectiles, so they will not trigger thorns. So as long as I'm not comboing her, obviously, which I'm not going to do in this fight, the thorns is a non-issue. And as for, the no flames, I'm just going to tank them. I'm not going to take block hits, really, or at least I'm going to try not to take too many. And the actual Nova damage itself, while it does do some chip, it's not going to kill me. So yeah, start of the fight, just getting our prompts up, making sure I get power, build my way up to my SP2. We got 1 fight of ramp, which is great. Here I get stunning her. And yeah, You do have the combat regen, because I just wanted, I don't think the others, I mean actually the others would have helped more, and invul in this fight would have helped more, as we'll see in the end, but yeah, get the first SP2 off there. My relic triggered instead of, well not instead of, my relic triggered, which nullified or staggered her SP1 buffs instead of them getting atrophied away, which is why they turned into passives. Right there is where I messed up. I got greedy. I wanted to go for back-to-back SP2s, and you can see while it is melting her, did push her to an SP2 when she was unblockable, and I just messed up. I didn't dex it, but it's totally fine. It did like 30% of my health, or I think more like 20% of my health, but not a big deal. She's down in sub 1 minute, so super satisfying fight. And now we have Node 34 Sassy, which I'm going to be taking with Silk. And this is just a no-node Sasquatch, pretty much. I'm just going to hit him in the face. The only minor thing to look out for is I'm not going to do the SP3 cycle, because if he goes into Wrath mid-cycle, he will be at an SP3, and he will probably hurt me emotionally and physically with his special 3. So I'm just going for my SP2s. And yeah, I mean, I'm just assuming Sassy's here is diversity, because obviously he doesn't interact with the node at all. But I'll take it, man. Free licks for Silk, always appreciated. I'm reversing his willpower, which is great. It's not doing a lot of damage, but it's always fun to reverse defender's healing. At least for me, it's just oddly satisfying. Here, I think I go for heavy into relic. And right here, I was like, I'm not going to heavy because I'm pretty sure he's going to go into Wrath. And he did go into Wrath, which is funny because, you know, at 6 charges, that's like the lowest chance he has. But I was like, there's something about this guy. I just have a feeling he's going to try and screw me over at the last second. So I didn't go for the second heavy. Combo was enough to kill him. And up next, we have Cass on node 38, which I will be taking with Guardian. And, you know, this node, you might think like, oh, you know, it has the debuff immune on knockdown, so Guardian's probably not as good, but it's totally fine. He will still work just fine for this Cass. There is actually a small little like gap between the debuff immunity and protection coming back up. So there is a little window you have where you can throw your SP2 and get the shock for the entirety of the SP2 while also having the Fury up, which I will be doing here when I go for my SP2. So up until then, the plan is just, you know, parry her specials, and go for SP3, SP2, you know, I mean, even if she gets prowess, as long as I'm parrying her specials, they're not going to do damage to me. Which I do mess up that one there. Unfortunate, but all good. I don't know. See, the thing is, I haven't pulled Cass, and I think I missed out on her when she came out as a 3-star. Which is unfortunate on my part. I need to be more locked in with that, because I always practice off the 3 stars, like especially with Guardian, parrying specials, but I didn't have one for Cass, so, you know, practice in BGs, but sometimes when you practice in BGs, it feels like it takes you 8 years to get the champ you want, and the drafts just always screw you over, but that's besides the point. You can see we haven't even gone for the SP2, and she's already at 68%. Here, she roots me, but that's okay. I mean, I have my relic here, in case I needed it, like in case I was actually in danger. But I really wasn't. Here, I think I'm going to full dex. Oh, no, I parry this one, too. I was only thinking about full dexing because I was like, I don't want that much power. But here, you can see debuff immunity is gone. So we throw the SP2. If I had gotten, like, one more crit, she would have been dead for sure, but totally fine. She's at 7%. There, she threw her SP1. I honestly was just not ready for it, so I didn't parry the first hit. But no problem. Hit her with 2 more light little taps, and she's dead. So, you know, even through the debuff immunity stuff, still a 1 minute 30-second fight. And obviously, Guardian's incredibly safe for Cass. You can see, like, I took 3 neuros in that fight, and they did less than 1% of my health. So yeah, super cool. Up next, Node 42 Jess. You know, one last time this season I'm taking her. I've taken her every single time she's been here. And you know, no better way to go about my last war than to fight her one more time with Silk. This time, I am playing a little bit differently. I'm going to time my specials a little better so that they line up with the ensnare and fumble debuffs so that they're not on me. You might be thinking like, oh, it's super obvious. Why wouldn't you always do that? But it's like, it's weird with Silk because yes, not having them on you technically helps. Like if you accidentally hit her, you can heavy her if you want. But regardless with the playstyle, at least the playstyle I use for her to make it extremely safe, I have to wait out debuffs regardless of the ensnare being there or not. So even though I do bypass the debuffs here, it's not like an incredible difference in speed. Although this fight, as we will see, is faster. So we start off with the usual parry heavy, and then we are going for, oh yeah, here, like I'm waiting for the fumble timer to get close to triggering, and then going for the light, heavy. So you can see first SP2, she's already at 70%. I get the stand up there, and I'm comfortable hitting her here because there's no fumble. Here, I get the medium, and I was like, okay, I don't have to slow up, so I'm sticking to lights, not ending my combo. And now, this is kind of what I was talking about. Like, we're back to where we usually are, where I just have to wait. I'm sitting here, and I'm waiting for these debuffs to fall off, but I can see, you know, my relic is about charged, and I'm getting ready. As soon as these debilitates fall off, I'm gonna hopefully go for the kill. That being said, it is gonna take a second, so we're just doing the usual. We're hitting her block to maintain spacing. We're being careful that if we do accidentally hit her, like if she drops her block, then we're going to be vigilant about the evade. And here, I'm just gonna wait out this last ensnare and fumble. There's no debilitates on me, so these are very, very short. And here I'm like, okay, perfect. Go for my light, heavy. The relic lets me do another light. I risk a medium there. Not risk, actually, sorry, because she already had the slow on her. So it was safe to do a medium there. And then here, I see the slow is just on her after the end of the SP2, so I was able to dash in heavy into SP1, and she is dead. So yeah, that was definitely the best rendition of that fight I had. And I do stand by the fact that Silk is just a super safe option. I mean, obviously, if you've watched a lot of my videos, you know I'm a day one ride or die Shang-Chi fan. And you know, next season with the tactic, which has been announced now, it will like most likely go back to him or Patriot, I think, are the two like standout options for that fight. Which is sad because I really did enjoy using Silk for it. I think she's great. Great option for that fight, super safe. Great option for Spider-Woman in general. But yeah, now up next we have another classic. We have Zolola on Node 45, which I'll be using Guardian for. Funny thing about this fight is, you know, in the past when I've taken this with Guardian, SP3, SP2 doesn't kill. And Zola's one where, you know, it's not really about crits because obviously he has the cowardice on his specials, so all your damage is basically coming from the shock. But as we'll see this time, now that I have the rank 4 Hulkbuster relic, the SP3, SP2 is actually just enough to kill him. So yeah, this fight, I mean, it's really as safe as it gets. Obviously, Guardian completely gets around both the hazard shifts. It's just free willpower, and he completely counters this tactic because of his energy resistance and the power detonations being all energy damage. Obviously, I'm going to try and only heavy him when he's at 10 charges because heavies do consume my force field charges, so I want to use them as sparingly as possible. Here, and as you can see, every time he throws an SP1, it's like a free, I'd say like just under 3/4 of a bar here. I'm already at SP3 though, so I just dex it. I've emptied his power, so now I can go for my SP3. It's important his power is empty because Conflictor on top of his energizes push him pretty close to an SP2, which, you know, not the end of the world if I do bait his SP2. It's just going to do a little bit of damage to me, but, you know, you can avoid it, why not? Plus the SP1s are good power, if I can parry the whole thing, which even if I can, I mean, that one gave me like close to half a bar. Pretty good stuff. Now I'm just working my way up to the SP2. Zola's being a little bit slower, but I'm fine with that because I need to wait for my relic to recharge anyways. And here, go for my heavy, go for my SP2, and we're gonna see. Taken for 52k, just enough to kill him. Just enough to kill him. So yeah, super fun fight, super safe. Guardian's the GOAT. And up next, you know, we have another staple, it feels, of this season. That's 46 count. I will be taking it with Silk this time. I do prefer taking it with Shang now, but I mean, obviously, Silk is totally fine for that fight. She's, in fact, who I used to always use. But yeah, the plan for this fight, there's really two ways to play it. Either you play it with an invul or you play it with a PS1. Both are totally fine strategies. I'm out of PS1s, so I opted for the invul method on this fight. Popping one more small energy refill for the season, because I got this fight, and then of course the Photon right after. So, the plan here is to just work my way up to SP3, push him to SP2s only by taking advantage of Inexorable. So I get my first opening without Inexorable up, and then for my second opening, I purposefully give him the Inexorable, and now I can easily push him to SP2. I messed up the dex, but that's totally fine. I'm just gonna wait for my evade to come back up, which, you know, he'll corner me, but it's not an issue at all. I mean, obviously counts heavy is not hard to dex, but I don't mind being in the corner against him because I'm really 2 to 3 combos away from my SP3. So here, you know, just waiting now a little bit longer so I can have my evade. And I know since he has the Inexorable, he's going to be easy to push to his SP2, which I do. And if he didn't throw the SP2, I would have just parried and went to SP3. Like here you can see, I think I go for a little intercept because, you know, why not? He was under a bar of power. We can mess around a little bit. And now I'm like, alright, bet. He is in the cycle. In the good old Silk cycle. The SP3 rotation. Honestly, Silk might be... I think she's one of my first rank 4s I started using him more, but I really do love playing her. She gets a little boring at times because, you know, you just get to the SP3 and you win, but war isn't always about using random champs. It's about being locked and winning. So having a champ like Silk where you can just get to the SP3 and win is so powerful. I mean, like, you could see champs like Prof, same thing. In the fights where you can just get to the SP3 and win, he's always going to be good. But anyways, we're getting off topic. Up here we have the last fight of Season 60. Photon on 48. And what a way to start off getting intercepted. You know, it's kind of funny because this fight, I've taken it so many times this season. And I actually play it the worst I ever have in this war. I make a couple of mistakes. I make 2 mistakes. The first one was getting intercepted there, but, you know, that's why we have the invul. I just felt it. You know, this is the one where I'm just randomly going to get hit. And there's another reason I use Nimble, like to be mega safe, but we'll talk about that after this fight. So yeah, I went for my first SP3. Now I just need one more. And then I'm going to go for my SP2. And I'm thinking, alright, SP3, SP3, SP2, and she's gone. I'm already a little over a third of the way there. So she's in pure light, but obviously that's no problem for me. Still perfect blocking all her SP1s. which I do think is the real, threat with Photon, is her abusing you through your block, but Guardian is just ridiculously tanky through his block, and it helps that Photon is all energy damage, so I have 10k resistance to all her stuff. But you can see here I got a little bit rattled after that combo. I think I missed like 2 perfect parries on her SP1s, and I don't really do that too often, so I could tell I'm playing a little scared. I wouldn't say scared, but I'm like, okay, let me be extra safe. Like, let me be super locked in. So here, go for my next SP3, and I'm like, all right, perfect. Get to my SP2, and the fight is over. But, in my hurry to get over the fight, I'm going to make a mistake. Not a mistake that will ever... it's not a mistake that'll end up in me dying. I guess I kind of spoiled it. But I'm not going to die to this Photon, but I do mess up the relic cooldown. I don't wait for it to come back, and I throw the SP2 without it. And the SP2 is just gonna leave Photon alive with a little bit of HP. So I think here, I just go for the actual relic into heavy. And if I just wait a little longer, like 1 to 2 ticks longer, this would have definitely killed her. But all good. Because you gotta keep in mind, the relic is not just 56% boost to the potency of, or the duration of the shock. It also makes it 56% more potent. So actually not even 56 anymore, because mine's rank 4, so now it's a 64% boost. So yeah, at this point the fight's over, because when Photon's at 6%, like, Bane is no longer an issue, because it's based off her current health, so the only threat of the fight is gone, and I'm just gonna do one more combo into that SP2, and she is dead. So yeah, that's the end of my season, guys. It's a shame I ended on that fight specifically, because it was sloppy, but overall, I am pretty happy with myself this season. I did go 93-0, so we did secure the Deathless. As an alliance, AOH, we secured 4th in the world, so our first top 10 finish. Super fun. And yeah, I will say this was my last war in AOH. Starting next season, I will be moving. I will be moving to New Nation. Shout out them for taking me and offering me a spot. It's gonna be nice to take a break from planning, and just being told what to do and knocking it out. But I am gonna miss AOH. I had so many friends in there. Obviously all of BG3. I'm so proud of all you guys. It's been an absolute pleasure playing alongside you guys, and outside of BG3, of course. I had many friends, many people who I've shared great times with, and I will never forget the time we spent together. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for following along with my journey this season, and hopefully I'll be back in 2 weeks with more videos for y'all. Later.